Okay guys, so today we are going to be looking at LR Beast Gohan, and in specific we are going to be looking at how he dominates every hard boss fight in the game. His team just makes it dumb, even at 55%. All but one fight we have two 55% Beast Gohans, just to show you that even dupes don't matter for this guy. If you have him at 55%, you're good to go. I think it's the last fight or the second to last fight. These are pre-recorded fights. We ended up using a 69% one, but just because I couldn't find a 55% one for some reason. So the fights that we're going to be looking at today are Omega Shenron, Red Zone Beerus, Red Zone Fuse Zamasu. We have the Supreme Battle Spectacle stage versus Trunks, and then we have the the Red Zone Broly fight. Now, Beast Gohan was utilized in both of the memorial battle fights for the Super movies over on the No Item Runs on my channel. So if you want to see him there, you can go ahead and look at those videos. Just because I feel like these fights are a little bit more tricky, as the super fights, they're a bit gimmicky and you can get around them pretty easy. So the first thing I want to do before I get into the fights is just go over what this Beast Gohan is doing, so we all have a very clear understanding of everything that he is bringing to the table. So if we pull up Beast Gohan here, we have the leader skill of Superheroes, Master and Student Bond, or Miraculous Awakening category Key +3, 170% stats, and then the 200% for Entrusted Will and Movie Heroes. He greatly raises his attack for one turn and raises his defense for one turn on his super attack effect for his 12 key, and you can see the 50 and 30 right here. For the 18 key, he raises his attack by 50% and then raises his defense by 30% for 4 turns, so you see it on the next appearance. And then the unit super attack, he has a 50% attack raise with a 30% defensive raise for 4 turns again. And then he greatly raises his attack, and that's just stacking because it's not for one turn. And then we have a crit chance for the enemy for 20%, and then he also has a action break. If you guys know how action breaks work, those are very overpowered, as it means whatever the enemy's going to do next, they're not going to do. So he activates his intro for free. He gets Key +8 and a chance to perform a critical hit and reduce damage received for 40% for 5 turns from the first appearance. He gets Key +3 and attack and defense +250% and guard activated against all attacks at the start of turn. He gains an additional attack +50% when attacking and gaining an additional chance to perform a critical hit for 20% when Key is 24. And then he gains an additional defense +80 and damage reduction by 20% when Key is 24 when receiving an attack. Then he gains Key +1 in addition per Key Sphere obtained, so that helps out a decent bit as well. And he also performs an additional attack on all allies Key +3 for the turn other than this character after receiving an attack. Oh my goodness. Key +1 per attack received. And I mean, you guys can see everything this passive is doing. I don't know why I'm reading this word for word, but you can see everything he is doing. His active skill is a taunt, and he is able to take his active skill is the taunt, right? So he takes every attack and tanks every attack when he gets it. So just so we're all on the same page, this is what we are going to be doing. I think I'm going to do a separate video looking at this rotation with this Gohan right here, but essentially what the purpose of this video was to just get no item runs on all of the difficult fights within the game. So let's go ahead and pan over to the phone, and we will take a look at the first fight, and that is the one against Omega Shenron. So the one against Omega, interesting stuff, right? You can see the team we are running has Future Gohan on it, has 2 Future Gohans on it, has Carnival Trunks, and it also has STR Gogeta on it, just because he has the guaranteed dodging, and he just works out nicely. So, nothing you guys haven't seen before. Double LR Gogeta, double Beast Gohan, double Future Gohan, and then we have Carnival Trunks just kind of chilling in the back doing his thing. So Carnival Trunks ends up being alright in this video, but we do have to be a bit careful with him in the second phase, as Omega has an AoE, but if we do get his standby, we should be good to go. So just kind of looking at this, I just want to talk about my thoughts on Beast Gohan as you guys watch the gameplay and him dominating every fight, because I feel like this video doesn't even need to be about the gameplay. It is about the gameplay, but it's just about how easy he makes the gameplay, right? I don't remember the last time a unit felt this easy to use. Like, I think he takes damage in this video like 1 time, and it's just because like the damage reduction isn't even full at that point, and it's the fight against Sword of Hope Trunks, and that super hits for like 2 something million. He raises attack by 100%, and it only does 300k, where that super is like killing like 99.9% of the game, and Gohan, it's not even taking half of his HP at 55%. So I just need you guys to remember how dumb that is and how dumb this unit is. It's pretty crazy. And in this run in specific, we don't even use Orange Piccolo. So we're not even running him at full capacity in this specific instance, right? Because you would want those super attacks really bad, and in this case, we don't even get it. So, I am really, really satisfied with how they did this Ultimate Gohan, or not this Ultimate Gohan, but this Beast Gohan. I think that this is a really fun conclusion to like the Where is Beast arc, where it's like we get this Ultimate Gohan at New Year's last year, and everyone is confused and they're wondering where is their shiny toy that they were expecting for the New Year's during that year. And then when they get the chance to make it again, he just is at a whole other level with how good he is. It's just like worth the wait. I feel like is an understatement, right? Like this guy is going to be the best unit in the game for what feels like a long time. I am curious to see how they handle this when we get to stuff like what's the word I'm looking for? It's like when we get to stuff like Worldwide, when we get to Tanabata, when we get to Golden Week, Saiyan Day. It's like, what in the world are they going to have to do to put this guy down to 2, right? And it's like we said the same thing about Piccolo, where it's like with Orange Piccolo, we saw an arc where it really did take a while to get him out of the meta, right? And he still isn't. Like, this guy's like the best partner for Beast Gohan. And with Beast Gohan, it's like, it literally took a unit that's like never, like, I can't imagine this guy ends up falling out anytime soon. Like, that's how good a unit needed to be to make Piccolo not the best unit in the game, right? And despite all that, you can still make like the biggest cope argument of all time nonetheless, but a cope argument that Piccolo is still like, close to the best unit in the game. I don't think he is, but you can like, you could talk yourself into saying that Piccolo is like 1 still, or like 1A, 1B, right? So it's really just impressive how they did it. And I think with this Beast Gohan, my favorite part about him is just, it's the consistency. It's, you are never feeling like you're just never worried about potentially taking a ton of damage, right? You're never worried about him throwing for the team. You're always getting that support because you're just keeping him in slot 1. So whenever he gets hit, he's getting that key support for the rest of the team. You have the links that he has. The leader skill is good, right? Superhero is crazy, and it's just the roster that you could throw around him is so versatile, right? You could run a movie themed build with Superhero. You could run a Tournament of Power themed one. You could run a Future Saga themed one, right? There's just a lot of different ways that you can build this team. And down the line, as long as Dragon Ball Super is getting buffs, this team is going to just get better and better and better, right? And it's like, I don't know if any of those guys like even become better than what this Beast Gohan is showing us, because this Beast Gohan is just so crazy. And that's like, it's almost like scary in a way with how good that they made this EZA, or not this EZA, but this release, right? So I hope you guys do enjoy watching him just tank everything. When it comes to the hardest fight in here, it was the Trunks Supreme Battle one, because Piccolo got locked in slot 1, and unfortunately Piccolo does end up taking a bit of damage. That won't be in this specific video, but that was the only L I took recording these videos. Like, I literally only took 1 L, and it was on that stage, or on the Trunks stage. So it is very good, but it's like, I don't even know. It's tough to even talk about it at this point, right? Where it's like, you see part 1, and it's like with Gogeta and Broly, and it's like those units are phenomenal, and then you get this Beast Gohan, and you're thinking like, well, where the hell was this? Like, Beast Gohan is crazy. It is so much fun. So all I can hope for in the future is we get a UI that's this good, as he's my favorite character. But I think his EZA is gonna leave... what's the word, right? I think that UI is going to, EZA is going to be very good, and I think he's going to be a pretty good partner for this Beast Gohan. So that is going to be quite a bit of fun, in my opinion. But really, I mean, one thing else that you guys are going to notice is I end up using this Future Gohan a lot. Like, Future Gohan, I was very pleased with how good he was, because the night the banners dropped, I actually coined this Beast Gohan, because I'm like, or not Beast Gohan, but the Future Gohan, because I didn't have him at that point. I went through a bit of an arc on his banner on the initial drop, and I'm like, listen, when he returns, I'm just going to coin him, and we'll forget about it. I'm excited to get summoning for the Gammas, that way I can potentially get a copy of Bulma, because I'd like to get a copy of her as well. But what's really helpful with Future Gohan is this domain, where it's like, with all this crit support that we're getting from Beast Gohan, as well as the crits he's doing himself, and the damage that we can do, especially with the domain on an extreme class enemy, it does make a huge difference. So STR Omega, not a problem whatsoever. And now with these a physical enemy like this, we have an opportunity to get pretty glitchy, right? So it's like, we've got this Gogeta going, we have the Sword of Hope standby going, we have physical physical Gogeta. I think we're going to transform on this turn. I don't know, we'll see him next turn. But like the standby for Trunks is good, and I believe this makes me put Beast in slot 2 right here, because I believe with the Trunks standby you have to put him in slot 1, or it might just be his first turn from appearance. I forget what the exact condition is, but you guys have to bear with me as I use these Worldwide Download Celebration Part 2 units, because unfortunately I did not pull either of them during the Worldwide Download Celebration, so I have to familiarize myself with them a little bit more than what I have already. So I am excited to get into that process, but it is going to take a little bit before I have everything down with these units. You know, it's funny as a Dokkan YouTuber, but it's just the truth. Like with the units that I don't have, it's just like, it's kind of whatever. It's like I just take the opinions of those who I trust and those who I watch and stuff like that, and eventually I figure out how good they are. So Beast right there hitting 9.2, not the most impressive attack stat, but you also want him in slot 1 just so he can keep raising that attack, and he also gets the attack buff from being hit, but I thought that slot 1 would have been the best, or slot 2 was the best spot for him here. So boom, boom, because he had the taunt anyway, so it didn't really matter where we put him. It's just, I was like, one hit in the front is just whatever. Let him eat everything in slot 2, stuff like that. I mean, it really didn't make a difference, so. Yeah, and one big thing to note with this, like I said, I was talking about earlier, so, before I get to that next train of thought, watch this. This is Omega Super. How much does this hit us for? 92k. So that's after his initial damage reduction wave has worn off, but that's pretty damn good. Like that Omega is taking most bosses or most units in the game and just absolutely just like running their fade, right? Snatching their chain, if you will. So 92k, when you have 750k HP or whatever this team has, that's nothing. Like he could still take 2 more of those and be just fine. So it's like, it is just absolutely bonkers, right? And we're only, what turn are we on at this point? Turn 7? Yeah. And so now we also have Gogeta Blue. So it's like we have the active skill with Gohan, we've got the taunt with Beast Gohan, and then we've got Gogeta on the end doing his damage, right? So it's like right here I'm thinking, do I take the taunt? Do I not take the taunt? And then I believe I also do the future Gohan active skill as well, because I'm like, we're not going to be able to take this home with us. Just get that free damage in, and it ends up hitting for a decent bit if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 5.5, not terrible, but also not the best. And like I said, with the domain buff and stuff like that, we have a very good setup here. 721k defense with damage reduction and guard. Good luck getting through that. Like, good luck, Buster. Because, spoiler alert, he's not going to. And it's like, let's see what the AoE does here. Double digits to you. 36k to future Gohan, which is not phenomenal. A super would not do him too well, but I believe we have nothing to worry about at this point, so I'm not really sweating it too much. So we shall see. 7.1 damage right there. Again, not terrible. Sorry, I was looking at something, but we're halfway through the HP at this point, and what's funny is like I don't even know like how many times I don't even remember how many times like the future Gohan, I don't know how many times he attacks in this video. So I do find that funny. All right, boom, there you go, 5.6. Not bad, not bad. And then he gets another one in. How much damage are you gonna do right here, my boy? 3.7, and another super, and this guy's at 55%. It's just so impressive. 4 million. And guess what? He can't do damage to us. He just can't do anything. Like, it's like, okay, here's the super on future, it's on the other Beast Gohan because we did the taunt, right? Here we go. So it's just like, one thing to keep in mind is just like how safe this unit keeps us, right? It's like, what is he supposed to do? It's like, we just have so many defensive options that it's like, what is the boss supposed to do? 6.1 right there, and then, whatever damage we get from this Gogeta is just icing on the cake at this point. I believe we either have one more turn in here or 2 more turns. Yeah, so we have one more turn, and then we actually end up getting a pretty cool finish, which I'm sure most of you guys know where this is going if you remember who was on the last turn. So it's a quick check to see if you're paying attention, because if you do know who was on the last turn, you know who's going to get the kill here. Someone that I don't really get to use that often. So boom, 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 boom. It's also like a really weird feeling using this domain just because I'm not used to it, right? This future Gohan domain is so cool. Boom. All right, come on, one more. Boom. Do we have one more AoE? No, yeah, so Future Gohan finally transforms, like 13 minutes into the run or something like that. And it's like, oh, hey, nice of you to join us. And then he does the standby, and yeah, so we have the Sword of Hope taking out Omega, so that was pretty fun. You know, like, this is probably my first time ever using this on this portion of it. Like, sometimes I'll go into the standby and just get the win before that. So here we go. Show it to him, Trunks. Honestly, the windscreen, or this little portion, not the most exciting in the world, but 15 million damage right there to Omega, and that is it for the Omega fight. So with that being said, I'll show the no item run, and we will go ahead and move on to the next fight. Honestly, I forget which one it is. I'm pretty sure it's Beerus, but I'll be cutting the recording and going to the next fight. So whenever we get there, we'll know who it is, but I'm pretty sure it's Beerus. So new record on the Omega fight, by the way, by about 1 minute and 40 seconds. But there you go. That was the Omega fight. On to the next one. Okay, so we are on to the next fight here. We've got our old buddy pal Beerus. So we did change up the team a little bit. We brought some more physical focus, and we took off in Future Gohan, as well as funny enough, I say physical focus, and then I take off Carnival Trunks. But this feels a little bit safer, just because of the STR phase. Is just that phase is not for Trunks. Like, the physical units we have here have damage reduction and stuff like that, or like guard or a dodge, and you know, Trunks just before he can get into that standby just does not have what we're looking for. So we do have to kind of be a little bit more careful with it, and that is what we end up doing in this specific instance. So you can see here we have Double Beast, we actually have Orange Piccolo on the team this time, and then we have the Blue Boys from the future, you know, AGL Vegito Blue, one of the most polarizing units in the game. Then we have Evo Ken, or the Blue Boys, whatever you want to call them. Future Gohan is pretty much a mainstay in this whole video, just because I want to, as much as this is a world tour for Beast Gohan, it's also one for Future Gohan, just to kind of take him out for a spin at 55% and see how he does. And honestly, I was thoroughly impressed with just about everything I saw in this specific video. So I'm super happy that they're as good as they are, because these are units that the community's been wanting, and then for myself, I've been wanting Future Gohan since he dropped. I didn't get him on his banner after going pretty deep, and I'm excited to finally have him. So, and I'm getting my coins worth out of him already, so that's really fun. But with that being said, like I said, this Beerus fight I think is interesting and a good test for him, because this shows the prowess of the superhero team when you're up against an int enemy, where there's a lot of physical options here, or really good physical options, because as much as, like I said earlier, with this being a showcase for Beast and Future Gohan, this is also a really good playground for the STR, or the physical Blue Boys, because the physical Blue Boys here are going to do a decent number on Beerus's health, and then with the type disadvantage, you'll be able to see kind of how they do with their damage reduction, and you're also going to see like an active skill turn if we end up losing their HP, where they get a ton of damage reduction on top of that with the rainbow orbs that you get, and just with the attack stats you're seeing, you can tell pretty easy this is just a dumb character. Like, they just do so much. It's like double, triple supers, crits everywhere. A lot of the times they'll end up dodging just because of the way I have them set up. They do it's funny how that kind of worked out, right? Where back in the day, the build for them was everybody used crit, right? Because you wanted to get crits on those normals that they're always doing. And now everyone kind of had to pivot to additionals, or to additionals and dodging, just because you don't need it anymore. So it was like, oh no, and as someone who's not really a spender at this point, it's like I can't really afford to use those stones on hidden potential nodes when I have characters to obtain, right? Where it's like I'm not just like sitting on 500 stones at all time, where it's like, yeah, I could afford to just toss 5 on that and add it to dodge. It's like there's really not that much of it. It's really just like the difference between 15 dodge and 11 dodge. You're not really going to be like, oh my god, this is the craziest thing ever, and like you really can kind of just not use that and you'll be fine, in my opinion. So it's like just alter the skill orbs a little bit. If you play every chain battle and do all these missions and stuff like that, if you basically do everything there is to do in the game like I do, you'll have a decent set of skill orbs at this point, right? And I don't mean that as like a flex, because like my account's not even that great, and my orbs are fine. So if mine are fine, I'm sure yours are fine too. Yeah. We have bringing STR UI Goku was kind of more of just for fun, because this is a character I like to kind of bust out every once in a while. I think he has a lot of potential to look pretty good once we get, hopefully, we get the AGL UI EZA, because the AGL UI is going to be, EZA should be very, very good, in my opinion. We have a lot of potential with that one. Everything that he is doing with his, with the guaranteed crits and stuff like that, like if his attack numbers are looking like what Evo Kens are looking like, or the Blue Boys, whatever you want me to call them, yeah, we are looking pretty with that unit. So Hopefully they end up being as good as I anticipate, but only time will tell, right? So 7.6 there, not phenomenal for Beast Gohan. But it's really annoying when you run into a boss that doesn't super in slot or doesn't hit slot 1 before you attack, right? Because this is one of these characters where you're kind of like begging them to, you know, have attacks in the front, because this is a character that's not going to do it. You're not going to take any damage with them. So it's like, oh, please put all the attacks, load them up in slot 1 before I attack. Do 4 supers in slot 1 for some reason, right? Where it's like, I'm fine. We can eat that. Like, we're good. And most of the time, it feels like some of these fights are just, oh, it's like, oh, great. After I super, that's where the attacks are when I don't need them to be. So here's Future Gohan taking one from Beerus, double digits. I mean, but this isn't the fun part of Beerus. Beerus is it's the Fury phase that's fun. So don't look into that too much. It's not the best there. So boom, there we go. Just take whatever damage you want to give us, and then we'll move on to the next phase, and everything will be fine and dandy. So boom, boom, boom. What do you got for me? Yeah, that damage is just so funny, man. But this is also not an ideal setup for them, and they're also 55%. Unfortunately, when I pulled Beast, I did not get a copy of the blue boys on that banner, because it's like you pull the copy of the new unit and then you just go for the other one, right? That's my mindset on this stuff. So I believe we either use the taunt here. Yeah, we do. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was gonna say I think we use the taunt right here, because we should. So yeah, there we go, there we go, there we go. And then there's just no reason for, like, the beauty of what, like, the beauty, it's funny to say the beauty of the Beast, right? But the beauty of Beast Gohan is being able to hold, so like in most situations, like the one you just saw, it's like you'll have Beast or the taunt as well as orange on the same turn. But in old situations, you would put, you know, orange, you would do orange just to take away the supers. But now you do what Beast does turn 1, or like the first turn you see it, you can do orange, or you can do the taunt on the first turn, and then the next turn when they come around, you also have orange. So like all in all, you have 2 safe turns, and then if you have a second Beast, you have a 3rd safe turn over there. And if you have Gogeta on the team, you have a 4th safe turn. So it's like essentially you have 4 give me turns with these 4 units. So it's like that's the new kind of evolution of the power creep of this game, where we're going from units that are able to tank stuff or we're going to units that divert all of the enemy's attention and don't take damage. So it's like when you have Beast and you have Orange and you have Gogeta and you have another Beast and potentially you have like AGL Vegito Blue with his active skill and the guaranteed dodges, and you have the 5 years, and when they're in slot 3 they have dodging, or they have their guaranteed dodging when you transform them to turn 4. There is just so much defensive utility that this team has that you can put across the whole game. And what is a boss supposed to do, right? The only thing that works against these taunts is AoEs. So it's like Fusion Zamasu's turn 1 AoE is the only thing that's really a threat. And guess what? This team bodies that too. So it's like, what is the game like? What you have, like, for difficult content, in my opinion, right now, you have no reason to run anything but superhero unless it's for a category mission or something very specific, right? Like, one of the things they have to start doing is, for like good rewards, they have to make it like use an extreme rainbow team or something, right? Because otherwise you have no reason but to use this team for everything, right? Even if it's boring, it's like playing the game on easy mode. You essentially just can't lose like this. Like, you're gonna see in this video, like I said, I only took 1 L, and that was because the boss locked me, and Piccolo's guard had worn off, and Trunks supers Piccolo for like 900k, right? Maybe what I'll do is I'll play that turn of me losing with this team, but you'll realize that it's like, oh, well, what was he supposed to do, right? I think I maybe could have used orange or the taunt or something like that, but I was probably saving it for the next phase. And I was like, we'll just see. I'll risk it for the biscuit. We'll just try and get through this phase. And obviously it didn't work out. So that is where this team currently is standing, where it's like, it's just, whew, it is so good. And it's a lot of fun because, as someone who, like I said, we've talked about this earlier, where it's like a lot of my units are at 55%, 69%. It is just really fun to kind of turn the tables on these bosses and just bully them with this Beast Gohan. So super satisfied with how this release has turned out so far, and I look forward to using him as time goes on and just continuing to just body these bosses. So that is where I am at this current point in time. I don't know what's going on with my computer over here. There we go. Okay, sorry about that, but we're good now. Yeah, so here we go again. This is a Beerus Super. This is, if I remember, this isn't bad. Yeah, double digits. It's like, okay, thank you, dude. Appreciate that. And then we move on here. Special beam cannon. Makanko Sapo. Makanko Sapos everywhere. Right. Just more damage from future Gohan. And then, honestly, the thing with UI is you want to build him up, but in these hard fights, nah. Normals are doing too much to him, unfortunately. But we'll see. Maybe AGL UI is the mask that he needs. We'll see. I am, if you can't tell, I'm banking pretty hard on this UI Goku EZA being very good. Let's see. Yeah, so here is maybe where we use orange. No, we don't. I'm looking at the gameplay right now. Yeah, you can just tell I am not trying to use that. It's just like, let's let Beast do his thing, and if we have to use orange, I will, but I don't want to. So that is sort of how this kind of went, right? Where it's just like, do as much as you can to not use orange and because you just really don't need to. And that's what's just so crazy about this stuff now, where it's like, you're looking at this and you're like, what do I need to do? And it's like, oh no, I don't need to do anything. You just do the Beast Gohan taunt and he's good to go. So boom, Orange Piccolo's doing his thing. And then on the next turn, I believe we get Kaioken Blue Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta out, and that makes our lives very easy. So at this point, I'm feeling pretty confident. It's like, even if you want to super this Goku and Vegeta with the type advantage, I don't think we're going to take 700k, so we should be good to go. And we go out on the next turn and we let the blue boys just kind of wrap this up. So that is how this run went. This Beerus fight, I wouldn't say is like super hard, but I also wouldn't say it's just a cakewalk. Like, you can absolutely get caught in the second phase, but with this team, it is very hard to get caught. So that is why I wanted to show it off and make sure that everybody saw it for what it was. And that is a powerhouse, just a team that it bends the fundamentals of this game, really, for lack of a better term. It just makes stuff easy. And I like it when things are easy in this game, because we've had our struggles over like the last year with some of these bosses sometimes. So it is just kind of funny to like look at the Trunks fight, right? Where if you go watch my no item run video from earlier in the week, where I'm using like the Blue Boys lead and we're running the GT duo and stuff like that, and then we just go in with this team, and it is just a night and day difference. So very fun stuff, and I'm happy that I'm able to showcase it. And I actually was looking, I was saving all these runs for the video, and it turns out I actually just straight up deleted the one where I lost. So you won't see that, but just know it's Piccolo in slot 1 and he sails the run. So no item run for Beerus, pretty easy stuff. I believe we did get a little bit low on our HP, which is not obviously phenomenal, but it is what it is. Sometimes that's going to happen. You just get hit with the wrong super, or you take a bad normal or something like that. And that's how it went. So we're going to be moving on to the next fight. I believe the next fight is the Trunks fight. So that one should be interesting as well. So let's go ahead and move over there. All right, so now we're over here in the Trunks fight. So this one, I think, is where you kind of have a little bit of a challenge, right? It's like at this point, I was kind of just like over the intros and whatnot. So we just decided to move off from that. But this one is where things can get just a little bit tricky. And it's not because Trunks himself like is hitting overly hard or he's doing like an AoE. It's just the locking, really. Like, once you get out of phase 2, you have a decent bit of options, or a decent bit of just like you have utility at your disposal, right? And you don't really have too much to worry about. It's just a matter of getting out of that phase in the first place. So I think this is the only event we actually end up using orange in, just because I think I just ran out of utility in order to kind of divert his focus, if you will, right? He just it takes a bit, because I think we also have to waste them in the STR phase, where it's like if a unit gets locked in the wrong spot, you have to protect them with a taunt. And that is just how this game is at this point, where sometimes you just have to burn it and you move on, right? And that's ultimately what this fight ends up being. And it's not too bad, I'd say. Like I said, took 1 L during this. So like I said, this is the only L I took in all of recording this. And like, honestly, like I said, I recorded this all in like a matter of like 2 hours, basically. And it's not even, because each of these runs takes like 15 minutes. So that is pretty fun. So it's like I'm more than impressed with how that ended up going. But nonetheless, we do have to move on. Here we go. Boom. What do you got for me? Double digits. E. And now this rotation, not phenomenal, but I'm like, let's get a stack in with the blue boys, and then we'll get whatever we need to get with Orange Piccolo, let him get his hits in. So it's like, oh, this will actually be perfect because now we can build up our defense a decent bit, and that'll help out a ton. So boom, here we go. 2.5 million. Nothing too crazy from them, but it's kind of just what we expect at this point. This is like a meme turn because I'm pretty sure the next turn is like 1.2. Yeah, 1.5. Yeah, I'm sorry, blue boys. You know your role. When you're Vegito, you're solid, but other than that, sometimes you're not going to look that impressive. And that's just the way it goes sometimes, you know? But nonetheless, they do find a way onto this team, and they do help contribute in some of the, the harder fights. So it's like, I'm glad that we at least have that. And it is what it is. You just got to move on. You have that guaranteed dodging active skill. You have that support where he's with, what's his name? I'll get it. It's, you link him up with Gogeta Blue, right? And honestly, we don't even use Gogeta Blue that much in this specific video. So it's like, that is very, very cool. Boom, bam, bop. Let's see, 3.5. Nothing too crazy there. Future Gohan really ends up impressing me in these videos, like I've mentioned already. He does a ton of good stuff for the team, and that's super fun. And now, it's like, obviously we're not going to use the taunt just yet, but I'm like, let's keep Gogeta on so that way we can transform him as soon as possible. But I believe with Gogeta Blue, I don't remember if we saw him turn 1 or not, though. That might have been a mistake looking back at it. I probably should have put Gohan slot 2. Maybe the idea, if I look at his HP again, I'll be able to tell you. I think my thought process was I'll just take him out before he can attack. That would be my guess. If I was a betting man, I'd say that was the thought process here. So, we shall see. 4.3. It's going to be close. I don't know if we do enough. Let's see. What do you got for me? 3 mil. Yeah, so that super should basically clear it out for us, I'd hope. Boom. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now we're in the phase where it's like, oh, okay, I'm pretty sure he locks Beast right here. And it's like, okay, dude, go ahead. Like, lock Beast. And it's like, okay, cool. And we don't even need to use the taunt right here. I'm pretty sure I saved it. Like, what's the point, right? Yeah, boom. There we go. Yep. Perfect. Yep, do all that damage to us. We are good to go. Yeah, and so one thing that is important about this specific instance is now that we have Orange Piccolo on the team, we're getting that unit super attack, which is also giving us, you know, what's the word? I'll get it. English is hard sometimes. Damn, why can't I get it? The action break, excuse me, which is going to take away some of his super sometimes, which is going to help out a decent bit as we are doing these specific runs. So that is good. Sorry, I'm sending a message on the side here as I'm recording this one. All right, there we go. Yeah, so the blue boys do end up, I think we get their active skill in this specific video. I forget already. Like, I recorded this and just kind of let it go after that. Yeah, it's just that 12 key will never not be funny. It's crazy to me how bad it is. 99 damage. Yeah, that's what people on Twitter will tell you their damage is against every single boss. Yeah, so here Future Gohan gets locked, but I'm not feeling great about that. I don't remember. Yeah, I think I do risk it for the biscuit right here, though. From, like, he could potentially do some damage to us, but I am willing to run that risk. And then, like, of course, he supers, right? Where it's like, that was the most predictable thing ever, that he was going to do a super there, and he actually did it. Like, boom. So, yeah, we do end up taking, that is, like, the closest we've been to losing since this started, aside from the actual run we lost on. So I was like, let's just not, like I said, let's save this taunt for the second phase, because I'm thinking, like, anything other than a super, he would have been fine. And I'm like, I'm willing to run that risk. And of course, it doesn't pay off, because that's usually how this stuff goes, where you think you got it under control and then all of a sudden you don't. And that's just how it goes sometimes. So boom, boom, boom. He's fine. Future Beast Gohan's good to go. Not taking much damage there. And now obviously we have Gogeta. So the next time we see Gogeta, we'll have his taunt. We still have both of the Gohan taunts, and then we also have Orange Piccolo. So we have quite a bit of options to work with here in terms of defensive utility. And all in all, that's going to make this experience fighting him not too bad, I'd say. So here we go. Let Gogeta do his damage, and then I think we have another turn in this phase. Yeah, we definitely do. He's only at like half HP, so we still have a ways to go, and I'm thinking it's like, listen, I mean, we have so much time left in this fight that I can't afford to just burn this taunt the second we get it. So ends up putting us to low HP, but it is what it is. And then he tries to double super there. That would have been a death blow, but Gogeta's got us, and I don't remember. Oh yeah, we definitely don't use the taunt here because we have the damage reduction from the blue boys now. So they get additional damage reduction when they do that active skill because they lose some of their defense, right? And now that's good game design, where it's like, hey, you want to do that active skill and buff the attack? Well, they fix the problem where it's like you literally, like if you did that active skill before, if you tried to do that, you literally just like, you wouldn't be able to take a hit afterwards. Like you had to win on that attack, otherwise the match was over, right? Or the fight was over. And they fixed it with that active skill, so now they can actually take that, and they're also going to be doing a ton of damage because of the buffs they're getting as well. So they're getting, that was a ton of damage right there, and then we have whatever we're going to get from here, 8 million, and then I forget if sometimes he triple super, sometimes he doesn't, but it doesn't really matter in this instance. Still get good damage in anyway. That crit support is just so dumb. So three attacks, 3 crits, we're good to go. Thank you. Now the blue boys are going to come in, hit for 17 million. If they could lower attack, they could lower defense. Like, they crit, they do additional supers. They're just so dumb. I mean, look at that damage, 11 million. Is that enough? It's like, okay, and then 2 normals, 2 crits. It's like, thank you, come again. Yeah, so here we go. Future Gohan's domain is active, but in this case, I don't believe the buffs are really coming through that much in terms of the damage we're doing, because he's more of an extra. If I'm not mistaken, actually, let me pull up the exact conditions on his buff as I'm running through this real quick. But I'm just kind of setting this up the way I want it to right now. We have this active skill with Vegito Blue. We have his guaranteed dodging, so we want to put him in the second spot, then do the active skill, and then float him off again, because now we have guaranteed dodging. But I believe we just do the taunt anyway, because I'm like, we got to protect Future Gohan right here, because Trunks, if you don't know, does raise his attack up a lot after he supers. So those normals are going to be hitting hard. So we can't afford to let that go. So here we go. This is Beast Gohan against the Trunks super, one of the hardest hitting supers in the game, by the way, and it does 300,000. So that incinerates, like evaporates, just like turns into dust most of the game. So keep that in mind. 300k, although it looks like a lot, is not that bad. Like, yeah, so his domain increases damage. Yeah, I thought so. Active skill. Yeah. Cool. His domain effects increases damage received by extreme class enemies and allies by 30%. Yeah, so we have no extreme class on this team, and Trunks is not extreme class, so that domain is more of just a cosmetic, if you will, in this fight. Not really doing anything for us or against us. So it is what it is, but cool to see nonetheless. Vegito Blue is going to do his thing here, and he's going to be able to lower Trunks' attack on the 12 key. So that is kind of the counterplay to this Trunks, where you can just spam supers and it's going to lower his attack as you go. So that is cool. And then I don't remember how many we get in this instance. Maybe it's 2, maybe it's 3. Honestly, I forget. And I don't even know at this point if we even use orange. I forget. Maybe not. I know I use orange at some point. Oh, you know what? I use orange in the Broly fight. That's right. I figured let's go into a fight where dodge is disabled for this video, even though Beast Gohan is in the dodge unit. But I'm like, let's take him in a fight where a lot of some of the units are restricted, and we'll see how he does, or see how they do. And that's ultimately they did pretty well. So I want to say this is the last turn because we have the taunt, and then we have Beast Gohan's taunt, and we also have the blue boys. So a lot of damage coming from this team, but nonetheless, this is one of the hardest fights in the game, if not the hardest. But I would say that the attack lowering of this last phase would lead you to believe that this is not the hardest fight. So no need for the Beast taunt here, just because Gogeta is going to take literally 0 damage compared to Beast, who could potentially take a little bit. So obviously just want to let Beast do his thing. But if Beast doesn't get the kill and Gogeta doesn't get the kill, the blue boys are there to clean up, mop up, if you will. So Gogeta, good try. Good try, buddy. Yeah, so easy. That is what this this instance here is. So there we go, 2.9, not bad whatsoever. And 13.3 from you, just for good measure. What do you got for us, Gogeta? Does this end up getting the win, or is it the next one? Yeah, so we're actually gonna get the 12 key KO screen, which is very satisfying with this Vegeta, so that's cool as well. Yeah. 6.9 and the active and the KO screen. So very cool stuff. Trunks is all taken care of now, and now we have 2 more fights, one against Fusion Zamasu and then another one against Broly, and the next one we end up doing is Fusion Zamasu. So I'll catch you guys over in the Fusion Zamasu fight, but you know the drill. Got to show the no item run, make sure there's no funny business going on, and we're not masking damage or anything like that. But there you go. Let's move on to Fusion Zamasu. All right, so we are now over to Fusion Zamasu. Now, this fight is a lot of fun. We have that turn 1 AoE, still very intimidating and could still potentially do a lot of damage to you if you are not careful. You have to kind of play your cards right, get lucky with the AoE, and sometimes you don't get lucky. And in this case, the orbs don't fall the best, but we still managed to find a decent setup with it, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we get 2 rainbow orbs right there, and then we have the key support coming in from Gohan, and then the additional key support coming in from Piccolo. So getting that action break in also helps, because that could potentially get rid of an AoE. It's just, I can't emphasize enough on how much defensive utility this team has, and how easy it can just make the game, right? You guys will especially see that in the second phase. This ends up being my fastest run for Fusion Zamasu with no items, and it ends up being about 8 minutes. So if we were to use items or something like that, we could easily improve on this time, but I'm not really too worried about that. Speed runs for me aren't really much of content, unless you guys want to see those. Let me know down below if speed running would be something you guys are interested in seeing compared to just no item runs. I don't mind using support memories and attack up items to see how fast we can get the run, but the problem is just titling those, right? Where it's like, it would almost be impossible to say world record for any of these, because I don't have an all rainbow box and stuff like that, so it would make things very difficult. But I could try and see how fast I can complete events. Like this one I could probably do in 5 minutes or less. I would just need to be quick, right? Or I would just need to be a little bit more diligent with the items and stuff like that. I would probably have to use like a Bulma item and a support memory and stuff like that, but it's something I haven't really put too much thought into, but it could potentially make for interesting videos, so maybe in the future that's something we do. But for now, we are trying to take down Mr. Merge Zamasu, and that's, you guys will see we end up doing that pretty well in this video. Like, look at how much damage the blue boys did. Like, Zamasu's already at half HP, essentially. Less than half, almost, yeah, so he's at about half right now. And then on this turn, it's like, look who's floating. We got Gogeta, right? Maybe, yeah, no, this was the play. Future Gohan, I believe, does take a little bit from this AoE, and so does Gogeta, but nothing to the point where it's like, oh my god, like, that's so bad. It's like, I think this is like 100k, and then the next one is also 100k. So Gogeta in base, that wasn't too impressive, my boy. But nonetheless, you just got to find a way to truck on through it. And then we get this damage in from you, we get the second super in from you, and then we have a super coming in from Future Gohan and whatever damage he wants to bring to the table, which I'm pretty sure isn't that much on the first turn, because Fusion Zamasu ends up not really taking that much. Like, he's one of those units, like if you guys remember, who was it? Is it in the Broly fight? Oh, which fight is it? There's one phase where it's like, just like literally no matter what, you're just like not doing damage for a bit. Oh, it's the Harudegarn Red Zone. You just end up doing like nothing in that fight just because of how he has his defense set up. It's like you have to crit, right? And that's what it comes down to with this Fusion Zamasu as well. So it's like, you can see that one went through, but the first one didn't. So it's just kind of funny. But normals, double digits, we're thugging that out. I don't recall if he does a super in this phase. That's kind of where the Mickey Mouse luck comes in. But there would be ways to work around it if he were to try and super us. I don't think it would kill Gogeta with guard and a couple supers at this point. And Future Gohan after a couple supers as well would be probably just fine. So that is how these are going. Super chill runs. This has been a good time. So 3.2, then Gogeta coming in to finish this one up. It's like we're just moving so quick, right? Like I'm pretty sure we're already halfway through the run. It's like we have, when you're like 5 turning Fusion Zamasu, this is supposed to be the hardest fight in the game, and you can just see how easy the superhero team is making this look. So this is where the luck really comes in. Look at this hit spread. When you have Beast Gohan on the team, this is like exactly what you're looking for, right? We do the taunt, and so that way it's literally like nothing. That one hit, I was like, we're not going to take that. I'm good. Thank you, though. But either way, it's like, watch Gohan literally just take nothing, give key support, which he's going to do for Piccolo, and Piccolo's going to get his 18 key. It's just like, okay, dude, good luck. You can try, but it's not going to work, dude. This team is just so much fun. Yeah, 14 million right there. I forget if that's the 55 or the 69% one, to be honest. It's like I only did these a few hours ago, but just like it's the little things I just forget during the middle of these runs. All right, so boom, attack break, crit for 10 million, took a bar health, cool. 11 million right there on that super. Just like, oh man, you hit hard. Let's see, what do you got for me? Another crit for 8 million. Piccolo's got increased crit chance. The blue boys have increased crit chance. Just like, what does this team not do? Seriously, someone tell me. Offense, you have crit chance. You have effective against all types. You have the active skill of the blue boys. You have AGL Vegito Blue if you can get him out doing 5 to 6 supers or something like that. Future Gohan, he has Domain that increases damage for extreme class allies. You want to talk about defense? Beast Gohan, untouchable. Orange Piccolo, can take away AoEs. The blue boys, again, you have guard in those beginning phases. You have the slot 1 dodging. You have AGL Vegito Blue on his active skill term with guaranteed dodging. You have the blue boys with the damage reduction they could potentially see, and then also the damage reduction they get on their active skill. Like, it's, you have the taunts, you have the support. Like, this team literally has everything. And it's not just this specific instance of the team, it's the way you can build it, it's the way how versatile it is. There's just so many different things you can do with this team to just make it pulverize the game. It's like, good luck working around a setup like this, you know? What are you supposed to do as a boss? It's like, the only way to really win as a boss is you have to lock. You have to restrict dodging. So, that is where we're at this point. You have to take away damage reduction, which is something I guess we could potentially see in the future at this point. But we will see. We will see. I'm hoping the part 3 bosses bring a little bit of a challenge, because right now this is kind of the honeymoon phase of Beast Gohan, where we just get to have a great time and just shred everything. But I don't know if that's permanent, so we shall see. But Future Gohan's doing his thing here. I believe we have one more turn after this. Then we wrap up there, and then we have one more fight against Broly, and I know in that fight we have Orange as well as I'm trying to do something on the side during that run, and you'll see that a lot where I'm just like pausing for no reason, and I'll be sure to kind of speed that up as I'm looking through the video. It's like when you notice that I'm just like sitting there, we'll just move through that. And then I also make a mistake in the Broly run where I do have to quit app, so we will make sure we catch that as well. Where I'm like, obviously something I do is just dumb, where it's like, why would I do that? Like, obviously you wouldn't do that ever. So I was like, let's just reset that, because that's the beauty of Dokkan, right? In the beginner's guide I posted, I talk about that, where it's like you just have so much freedom over how you want to play it and what the things you want to do are, and that's what's fun about it to me. So I believe we have one more turn here, and then we are good to go for the video. Yeah, we can transform into Gogeta at this point. We have Orange, but we're not going to use it. We don't have the taunt anymore, but we don't need it, because it's not enough hits on the end there for it really to matter. If Beast doesn't finish up the job, Orange will, and if Orange doesn't finish the job, then Gogeta will. Power Awaken Piccolo, whatever you want to call him, right? Yep, nice try. That is not who you wanted to super, Mr. Zamasu. Not him. That's the wrong one. Nice 93 damage. Remember when that super was intimidating 3 days ago? I do. He tried, though. But Beast Gohan, nonetheless, showing his role, his value, snatching the chain of the whole game, just asserting the dominance over everybody. That's all this video is at this point. It's an hour of me saying Beast Gohan is good. Boom, 6.5. See you later. So, what a lot of people still like to call the hardest fight. Did get a little sketchy, I think, at one point, but took it down relatively easily. That second phase was a joke. I don't even know if we took damage one time in that second phase, like aside from double digits and stuff like that. So, new record on that stage. Let's move on to Red Zone Broly, and then we can call this a video. Okay, so like I said for Red Zone Broly, this one ends up being, I'm trying to do something on my PC while I'm recording this one at the same time, so it ends up being a little bit messy. The run itself is fine, but there's a lot of like sitting in between where I'm just like not doing anything. So I'm going to try and get past that and like kind of scroll a little bit on this video. As I mentioned before, when I'm on the iOS and doing the kind of recording the screen recording, I can kind of just like drag my finger and kind of slide it to wherever we need to be. So I'll go slow and make sure that we just advance it a couple seconds so we you don't miss any of the action, but you also don't just see me sitting there like an idiot, getting the hiccups just talking like this. But yeah, you just don't see me sitting there battling like a buffoon, if you will. I don't know what happened there. I needed a sip of water. But here we go. This phase has always been funny, because I believe you can stun Broly or you can seal him. You can do both, it looks like. The only thing you can't do is lower his attack, so any utility units against this Broly are going to look pretty decent. But nonetheless, I don't think it really makes the biggest difference in this run. 3.8. What really makes the difference is like this AoE super is the one time we have to use Orange Piccolo, and that's where the team is just like I said, it's tailor-made for any situation. You have something, right? The only way you lose with this team is you literally just don't have an option, and that's like because the turn just like screws you that hard, right? Because like I said, you have the ability to take away AoEs. You have the ability to misdirect the enemy's attacks to a boss or to a unit that can't take damage and stuff like that. And that's ultimately what it comes down to, right? I think this is the turn where I forget I'm recording. Yeah, it definitely is. So let's you can see I'm just like, oh, I think at one point in the video I go like, oh shit, like I'm supposed to be playing right now. It's like sometimes that happens, right? If you record a lot of videos, you know, this can potentially happen to you, right? Or you're just trying to do one thing, you forget you're doing the other, and then you just kind of got to move on. But that stuff happens. It comes with the territory. Trying to multitask, sometimes that can come back to bite you. But if you have made it to this point in the video, I want you to leave a comment. What do I want to leave you? A comment. Say Beast Gohan is better than Orange Piccolo if you've made it to this point in the video. I really do appreciate the watch time. I appreciate you supporting me. I appreciate everything. This YouTube stuff is a lot of fun, and I hope to continue to grow the channel to you know, as far as I can take it, right? And is this another point where I stop playing? It looks like it is. Oh no, it's not. Hands off, hands off. Don't touch the phone. You know, it has been a lot of fun making these YouTube videos, and it's just if you're somebody that has like familiarity in this territory, when you see those numbers just start to go up at a rate that you're not used to, it is so satisfying. And during the Annie, we've seen some growth, and that's really good, but I want to keep going, right? I want to continue to make videos that are exciting for people, videos that people want to watch. It really does help a lot. So like, you know, if you do have like a series that you want to see, or a video idea that you want, a showcase that you want, or something like that, please feel free to leave it in the comments. I would greatly appreciate that. I want to know what the viewers want, because it's kind of hard to get that sometimes. You know, I ask and sometimes, you know, we just have to wait. But eventually somebody will leave a comment and be like, oh, do this, and I'll be like, oh, bet, I got you, and we'll go ahead and do that, right? So that's how I feel about that at this point. But it's also up to me as the creator to earn the platform. It's up to me as the creator to come up with stuff on my own, make my own ideas, and then kind of execute them. But that's enough rambling about the YouTube side of things. I just wanted to, you know, share a notice of appreciation, right? I say it all the time in the stream. I thank people and stuff like that. But back to the gameplay. Future Gohan, tanking. You guys know the drill with that. I forget, one of these turns I just sit here for a minute. I don't know which one it is. It looks like this one, to be honest. Yeah, I'm thinking it is. Yeah, I get it. Okay, yeah, move forward just a little bit. Here's what I do in this situation. It's like, I'm thinking that we'll get the kill on this turn, and the idea is that we just need to build up Trunks and Vegeta in case they need to take a hit later. So I'm like, go ahead and throw everything you got at me here, Broly, because we have guard, we have the type advantage, and now we can build our defense up as well. We get an 18 key in with a crit or whatever, and that is kind of where what it comes down to, right? And I think we're coming up on the point where I have to quit out because of the little mistake I make in the STR portion, where I think I do orange and then I do the taunt like a dummy. And I'm like, why would I do that? Like, there's literally no point. So just know if you see me do that in this recording, I believe it's this one. So it's either this turn or the next. I forget off the top of my head. But yeah, you can see I'm super locked in this run. Yeah. So with these attacks right here, you just know, it's like, there's no way we can sit here with this one. So I think what we do is we put, I forget how we do this, but I know we do orange, right? Yeah, so you guys know the drill with orange at this point. We don't watch that around here. You guys know what's happening. It's the same run. Obviously, you can see that. Turn's still the same. HP number's the same. and we get out of here. We go to orange, and then this is where I make the mistake, right? I'm just so here's what it is, right? I'm gonna pause the recording. If you look at the bottom, you can see that I left it on auto because I'm like, okay, let orange do his thing and pay attention. But I forget that I'm on auto, and I don't make the mistake. I make the mistake of not turning off auto, because then the bot, you'll see here, auto swipes up and does the taunt. I'm like, no. I look up and we do the taunt or something, and I'm like, no, don't do that, dude. What are you doing? And then we just end up having to quit out of the app, right? So I stopped the recording because I messed up, and then I'm gonna swipe, and then we just go right back into the thing, right? So the orange damage is still the same, HP is the same, hit spread is still the same, I would imagine, and we just have to move on from there at this point, right? It's like whatever, transform into Blue Gogeta, and we're good to go from there, because now the supers are gone, and we could save the taunt for the next portion of the fight, which is obviously what we would want to do. So that is why we had to do what we did. I don't want there to be any confusion, and just want to make sure everything is cleared up, right? The boss, or the auto mode of Dokkan kind of just like screwed me there because I let it. So that's how you let Dokkan catch you lacking. You keep it on auto mode, and then it just does dumb things. It's like, oh, I took the boss away from the super. Oh, we get this KO screen later, by the way. Pretty satisfying way to end the video. But yeah. You can see how locked in I am here with this specific instance. I let that sit for so long. But there we go. Now we're moving to this phase where future Gohan has his domain, which is pretty cool. And now we're really gaming, because this is also damage we get versus extreme class enemies. So I'm sure you guys know what that means. And I believe Gohan takes a super in this specific instance, and we can see how that is. This Broly super is type advantage, and it still hits fairly hard. I forget the exact number. Let me pull it up while we're watching this gameplay here. Let us see. Yeah, so you can watch him take the super for, it might be triple digits. I don't remember. I think maybe it's like 100. No, yeah, 131. Yeah, so he sucks, not double digits. No, but yeah, 131, huh? That's the best you could come up with there, sir. 131 damage. You were the hardest fight. Yes, that super hits for 1.2 million, so nothing too crazy. At this point in the game, 102 million is not that bad. Or 102 million. 1.2 million is not that bad. We've come a long way since then, as the game has evolved, right? Still a hard-hitting boss, but nowhere near what it used to be. Because, like, you know, 1.2 is whatever. It's just the fact that he has that AoE in the phase before. So the final phase of this one is just like every boss these days, but I just wanted to kind of show this fight because the AoE, and who doesn't like to see just an absolute stomping of Red Zone Broly? Because I'm sure a lot of you have had your days or have had your experiences with Red Zone Broly at this point. So I was like, listen, let's get this in the video, and we're gonna watch him take another super from Broly right here. Go ahead, my boy. What do you got for me? Yeah, 70 that time. So there we go. The double digits, the redemption arc. He went from triple digits to double digits. That's a glow up right there. So there we go with that. And we got another one right here. Boom, 1.9. Pretty good. And 309, whatever damage we get from that. And so we are basically on to the last turn here. I believe we have the taunt. Yeah, we do. So obviously we're going to do that. Take whatever we got to get from this, and then we wrap this up right here. I believe this attack just straight up wraps it up right here. I forget. I think we get the win screen with the beast and orange one. I think, because the Broly's hitting us a lot in the front. Yeah, so boom, there we go. Just go ahead and give me my attack buffs, buddy. Thank you very much. Come again. Yeah, 13 million, pretty good. With the Gohan domain, going to be very helpful. It just makes an extreme class boss feel like nothing at this point. So there we go. I talked for an hour about how good Beast Gohan was and how he dominated the game. I hope you guys enjoyed me just steamrolling Dokkan battle with Beast Gohan. Let me know down below what you guys think of the unit. How'd your summons go for him? If you did summon for him, don't forget to leave a like if you did enjoy today's video. Subscribe if you are new, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any of my Dokkan battle content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.